Cypress are common in areas. In some places these lilies are quite common. All colors can be seen, and some, like this flower, have the arms open to show you the beauty that can be found in big cypress. In the Everglades, there's a lot of things to be found. There's beauty, and there's also death. Death caused between the battles of the animals of the glades, like the wild hog and the bear, and this one by man. As I stumble upon this old airplane wreck, it had been there many years, and I didn't know the story behind this, what happened, how many was killed, as it had been there a long time. And no telling how much longer it had been, as this was 1974. One of the mysteries of the Everglades. I sat down on a piece of the wreckage and looked at another piece. It's deteriorated by age and the weather, as the hot Everglades sun and the hot summer rains has a way of deteriorating things rapidly. As I just sit and take it all in, wondering at the mystery of it all. The skulls of two wild hogs, showing their mighty tushes. These skulls were in the cabin as a reminder of the things that can happen in this part of Big Cypress. This is a wild hog, a young one that we got back in the glades. Mr. Williams shot it with his bow in the jugular vein as it ran by. Kenny and I had been going around the edge of a slough and jumped several hogs, and they scattered in all directions, and this one went toward Mr. Williams, and his aim was perfect. And as the hog was hung up, I posed with it as Mr. Williams was resting in the shade, happy over this wild hog and the thought of how delicious it would taste. Here I was hunting with my recurve bow. On one trip back in the glades, in a swamp, back at the cabin, on the edge of a cypress pond, Kitty went up his stand one afternoon, and I was on the edge of another cypress pond, when this nice 6-point came around close to Kenny. It was at a steady walk and wouldn't stop. And Kenny took perfect aim and released the arrow, and it hit its mark. It was a nice deer, and Kenny was proud of it because it was an excellent shot, and the deer did not go far. He is a veteran of many hunts down in the Glades, as he started hunting there when he was a little boy. And though he hunts there no longer, he remembers the days of back then like it was yesterday. And this 6 point he is very proud of, because killing a nice deer back in the vast Everglades like this with a bow is a very difficult thing to do. Kenny is in a reflective mood as he gazes out over the glades with his deer that he had just harvested. He had kind of a hard time trailing a deer, and a buzzard helped him find it. And he was so proud of that. And he's wondering if he will ever get another one like this. Deep down in his heart he knows that it's not likely. The days of the Everglades hunts are over, and he hunts elsewhere now. Mr. Williams is no longer able to go. In fact, now no one goes. And the tradition of hunting back in the glades with a swamp buggy, the cabin, and all the people involved is past, as everyone from those days has died except Kenny and I. And Kenny knows this as he is looking and thinking, and he is so glad that he was a part of it, and that he had the opportunity to spend those days back in the glades. And he enjoyed so much ramming all over the glades, and he had the places named, and he knew them by heart, from the Gator Hole on to Red Caps and other places. He knew all the stands, and so did Mr. Williams. Now the Everglades has retaken all those places. At times the big strand could look like a river when there was a lot of water in there during the rainy season, when they could be almost waist high trying to wade through these Cypress sloughs. And this was a very long strand, taking quite a while to wade from one side to the other. Cyclops stares out over the glades. The skull, the recurved bow, the old swamp buggy. It's all part of the mysterious Big Cypress, representing the past and the future. This is the resting place for for cyclops and other swamp buggies. It would stay there until we came back. And Mr. Williams always covered up and took care of the swamp buggy, so it would be able to run again and carry us back in the glades when we came back. As we parked the swamp buggy and Mr. Williams lovingly covered it up and made it ready so it wouldn't get wet, he realizes that all these years of the glades are at an end, and this is his last hunt back in the big Cypress of the Florida Everglades. He remembers all the events, all the people involved, starting back in the early 50s and continued for many a year. And he is sad as he remembers those days and knows they are over. The swamp buggy is eventually brought home, and there it stays with Kenny, but it runs no more. But it had a glorious time back in the days, prowling and exploring the Everglades. And Mr. Williams is one of the ones who started it, and he was there to the end. And so ends the adventures of Big Cypress, a period of time lasting nearly 4 decades. And all those who knew the Everglades back in those days are glad they did and feel like they're better because of it, because of something about the Everglades, the vastness, the mystery, the haunting beauty that imprints upon one's mind the image of peace,